I just want to do a longer video. A few of more of these coming out. Hope they're enjoyable, useful, entertaining, all of the above, or at least one of the above. And I wanted to talk about running. I've mentioned in numerous posts and in various of the short videos that it's taken me a long time to consider myself a runner. And a big part of when we're doing these things, when we're doing exercise training and in life in general, is how we see ourselves. And, you know, when we started running club months and months ago on a Sunday morning and started doing more running, I didn't have the shoes for it. I haven't really run, had no need to run, didn't enjoy it. It felt like a slog, it felt like a chore. There was always some enjoyment in the strength work because there was a bit of a challenge. I guess it was new, it was different. And, having the PT sessions and the training plans, feeling myself getting stronger and at the same time getting kind of leaner. So it was all part of that. It was running kind of didn't really fit into this. And so it's been it's been really this year, I guess, running has become the dominant force in the plan. And that's had pluses and minuses. And I wanted to kind of share some of these because when I was doing the strength training, when I was eating to my calorie deficit, I would have a strong 400-500 calorie deficit. The training was expending energy, but it wasn't heavy cardio stuff. There was rarely kind of cardio in it. So I was able just to eat to that deficit, do the training, and there wasn't a massive effect. Doing more and more running and more kind of cardio and doing more of the Hyrox specific and the big training days that we do on a Saturday and Sunday, which weren't always part of the plan. It's really it's taking some getting used to because it makes me hungry. It's harder work. I'm burning more stores of energy. I'm having to replace those. So it's actually harder, I'm finding, to eat to the strict deficit, get rid of the last few percentages of body fat that I'd like to get rid of because I'm pushing so much harder on the cardio. So that's one side of it. The other side is the running itself, getting used to it mechanically. I had hip flexor pain for weeks and weeks when I started, bits of knee pain and everything else. And this was just my body going, why are we doing this? Is there a bear chasing us? Is there a reason why we keep running? Can we not climb up a tree? So there was an adaptation to that. And that's largely fine now. That come out of the runs, I feel good. I'm not stopping the runs. I'm not feeling like, I physically can't do them, which is all good. It's all that the strength is helping build that and the recovery and just doing more and more of kind of the volume. And certainly at the moment, doing the 2 long runs and the sprints every week is really kind of pushing it on. But I was struck in the most recent session, and I've mentioned this before, but, part of what I'm trying to do with this and inspire people and encourage people is this idea that I'm not someone that was born in the gym, have spent 20 years in the gym. I haven't even spent 2 years in the gym. It's basically a year and a bit at this point. So a lot of these things are first for me, and I put myself very much in the category of an ordinary person. I'm a 48-year-old, formerly very overweight, very unfit, didn't do any exercise, didn't look after myself. And so this is a journey of trying to correct 48 years of that and seeing what happens along the way and sharing, my story. And this is something that's been, with these runs, it's been another challenge. So it's not that, I'm just skipping to the gym every day. The latest run session, it was cold when I got up. It was dark. Going in there, I wasn't doing the session with anyone else, and I knew it was a long run day. There were 1,000,001 excuses going through my head of reasons why I could skip it, or why I could just do something else, or pick another down the plan, or do half the run. Everything. My brain was trying to give me an excuse enough for me to latch onto to go, no, I'll just kind of skip it. But I did my 1K warm up, got on the machine. There were a few other people on the machines. I had to choose a mile machine, so I quickly had to get the phone out and work out what speed I wanted to run at, because I know all my speeds and split times and stuff in kilometers, not a clue in miles. So I had to do that. Tried to change the machine. They went, yeah, you've changed that to metric, and it carried on in miles. So I got on the machine, and the first 4 or 5 minutes, often I'll listen to an audiobook, but I decided today to put some music on just to be a bit more kind of upbeat, because I needed something to get me going as opposed to settle into and kind of listen to. And yeah, the first 5, 10, 15, 20, okay, the whole thing was hard. And I was really conscious of the only thing that was changing were the people on the machines either side of me, and where the treadmills are, you can see everybody that comes in. And so I'm just focusing on, oh, they're in today. Just trying to keep my brain active, not concentrating on the time going down, the movement, my legs going round and round and round, because today was 100%, and almost, I would say there was probably a 10-minute period during there where I just kind of settled in and it went. But the rest of it, the other 50 minutes, because I did a 1 hour timed run, was just a slog. It was hard. It was mind over matter the entire time. It was just, talking to myself in terms of, just, you're feeling good. Just keep going. Looking at my heart rate. No, my heart rate's fine. I'm doing a speed which I know I can achieve. So I wouldn't let myself put the speed down. In fact, over the last 10 minutes, I put the speed up and up and up, which was good. And yeah, but it was just this thing that I used to defeat myself when I started doing the running by going, oh, I hate running. That was just it was almost the default thing that I said almost without kind of thinking, I hate running. And it put myself into this mindset of I hate running. I've got rid of that now, and I kind of tentatively, I see some amazing runners. Some of the other people doing Hyrox are amazing runners. So, you always compare yourself with other people, but I'm putting myself into the category, I'm a runner. And how can I do that? Because I run regularly. So by my, very loose definition, that must make me a runner. If I'm running at least 25, which I'm probably doing 25 to 30 kilometers a week, again, unless I'm regularly being chased by bears, it makes me a runner. So it's that mindset change was made it a bit easier to go, okay, I'm going to go in and run. But this was another level of that. And I've seen a few things pop up on social media recently about proper runners don't listen to music, they listen to their their heart rate and their sounds and stuff like that to concentrate on that. Other ones, talking about how there was a great one the other day that, and I can't remember the exact distances, but it was basically that a marathon is a 20 mile warm up for a 5k. Because it's how well you finish and doing that last kind of 5k, that kind of thing. But a lot that talk about the kind of the mental fortitude. A guy that I know who's actually my hairdresser, who's run ultra marathons and marathons, and we were talking a little while back about running. And when people ask him what he thinks, what's the best bit about running, and he says stopping. Because it is difficult, it is hard, but it's the achievement when you've, when you've finished. And that certainly resonates more now. But it was just this realization of how far I've come over the course of this year with running and increasing my speed and increasing my endurance. I'm finding it, mechanically easier. My body is adapting to it and getting used to running. But again, I was really, really acutely aware today with all the thoughts going through my head, and that's why I wanted to make this video, that my whole outlook and what I talk about, the tortoise way in terms of slow and steady, I realized that part of the thing, even though that's what I've seen happen, that's what I've seen my journey be, because in the early stages I was trying to convince myself that I wasn't a runner, I didn't like running, then what I was doing is I was trying to get to those quick fixes. I was trying to find a way to make running easier, quicker. And it's just that reality that no, doing 2 long sessions a week and the sprint sessions, along with the strength training, which makes the running easier, increasing the cardio and everything else, I am getting a better runner. and my metric at the moment, the one I'm using and I will use up to the first Hyrox, is on our run machine. Some of them do 30-minute countdown. I generally go on the ones with a 60-minute countdown, and rather than running a 10k or 8k or whatever, what I'm doing is I'm running to time, which I find infinitely harder because you can't beat it. If you're running 8k and you've got half a k left to go, if you just try and run a bit faster, it will be done quicker. Whereas when you're running to time, it doesn't matter how fast you run, the time still takes the same amount. So I'm using that because it's for me, it's an extra challenge. And what I'm doing is, how far can I go within that hour? And that's my way of kind of pushing. Whether it's today was a very steady pace across the first 50 minutes, and then I increased it for the last 10. The runs I did last week, I was doing them in 20-minute banks. So the first 20 minutes I did at 10k an hour, the second one at 11, and the third one at 12, although I couldn't quite sustain it. And that gave me my highest amount in the hour. Today I beat that because I was more consistent through the 50 minutes and then elevated it at the end. So it was slow and steady. I haven't improved massively from last week, but I've improved a bit. And that week would have been better than the week before and the week before and the week before. And if I could go back in time to the person that was doing Run Club earlier in the year, I would see a massive improvement. And again, it's that slow and steady. So I guess part of it is forgetting my own advice in terms of the slow and steady, but also it's just that reminder that so much of what we do when we're exercising, when we're working towards something like this, is in our heads. And we have to acknowledge that in order to be able to combat it, to tackle it, and to win. And that's what it was. There's a great book, not a fitness book, but it's called The Chimp Paradox. And it talks about how your brain works and things like that. And that was going through my mind today because, all of us look up the book. I'm not going to try and summarize it, whatever, but there's one, the core concept is that we have this chimp, this primeval, very simplistic part of ourselves that is the one that wants instant gratification, doesn't want to do hard work, doesn't want to do much. It's the one that makes you lazy and things like that. And so this was going through my mind, and I was literally in the last 15 minutes, fortunately this was internally, so everyone else didn't think I was mad, but I was talking to my inner chimp. I was going, come on, look, we can do, nothing is hurting. We've done this before. It's just 15 minutes. It's just 12 minutes. And, I was just kind of talking myself, kind of through it, because I just wanted to stop. I just didn't want to run anymore. I'd done my bit, but I knew this is when the gains happen. This is when we improve, when we can get past these hurdles and do this more regularly, and that's when we get the results. So I just kind of wanted to share those two things in terms of, you've got to at some point believe and acknowledge that you are the thing that you're doing. I am a runner. I am a kind of a functional fitness person. Once I've done some real Hyroxes, I'll be a Hyrox person. And it might just sound like a silly label, but it's an acknowledgement based on the evidence around you, because you're doing these things, of the person you are. And that's not because of doing any of those events, it's because of the training that goes on. There's a great line recently is, any amazing athlete, Olympic athlete or anything like that, didn't become great when they got the medal. The medal is just the recognition of how great they've been up until that point, because they choose greatness every day based on the plan, the exercise and everything they do. And that's what this is about. And so it's acknowledging that you are that person, because that makes it easier for you. It makes it more comfortable. It allows you to kind of push on. But then the next battle is in here, and is making sure that you win that battle. That when it gets hard, you carry on pushing. When it gets hard, train with other people, train on your own. Find those little things that make it easier for you, and keep battling, keep pushing, keep those improvements bit by bit. And that's where we see the kind of the big gains. So I just wanted to kind of share that, because I talk about being annoyingly optimistic. It's the name of the stuff that I use, and it is my outlook. But that's not to say that I'm some kind of very strange person that I find everything easy and everything else. It's not. I work hard at these things, but it's just always looking for that positive spin, always looking for the silver lining, always looking for how overcoming that challenge is going to be a good thing, because the challenges are there. You know, optimism isn't ignoring challenges, it's just an unwillingness to let the challenges stay as challenges. Challenges are just an excuse to find another solution. That's the way I look at it anyway. So I hope that's been kind of useful, helpful, you know, delving into, yes, I'm talking specifically about running and these recent running sessions, but actually I'm talking about any of the things that we do which are hard and are meaningful and that we have to kind of do bit by bit and kind of build it up, because those battles internally are the key ones and the ones that we really do need to win. So hope that's been useful to someone. And yeah, onwards and upwards. We have, I think when I'm recording this, and I should know this off by heart now, I think it's 43 days to go. So we're almost down to that 30 days. And there's going to be a lot more of these kind of videos, a bit more kind of talking to some of the specific tactics in the stations, the things that I'm doing in terms of fueling and protein and eating in the kind of run up to Hyrox. And I'm putting, I know I've teased it a few times and I'm going to continue teasing it again, something very, very big, which I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be announced. It will be announced before I do my Hyrox, so some point over the next 40 odd days, but something that I'm very excited about. And I would just want to shout it out now, but I just need to pull the little kind of bits together. It's going to be something pretty spectacular, I hope. And I hope that all of you will join me on this next journey, following on from my 100 days to Hyrox. So yeah, keep working hard, keep training hard, and I shall catch up with you all again soon.